Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Logan Myers alongside Hammers. This is Future in WWE, the Raw season premiere post show. We're going to break down the Bleacher Report for WWE RAW results. He did some winners, some grading, and his, personal, opinions about each thing that happened tonight. Hammers, you ready to see how dumb this guy is or how smart he is wrestling style?
I'll be shocked and surprised.
Last time we did this, we really questioned the dude on CBS, didn't we? If he was even a wrestling fan or just a reporter.
Oh yeah, that's right.
But starting off one of the biggest weeks in wrestling history, Monday Night Raw debuted its season premiere for the Red brand. While SmackDown's going to Fox was certain to see radical changes, Raw had its own promise of change on the horizon, and so that started off with Vic Joseph, Dio Madden, and Jerry Lawler forming the brand new commentary team to call everything down the line for Monday Night Raw.
Yes, indeed. Not a bad team, I would say.
I
I
wouldn't
mean,
either.
there's still that kind of sigh of just okay, you guys kind of need to get it together a little bit and just kind of join together as a team. But I think if you can, it'd be a good idea to just give them get them in the studio a little bit, call some matches together, and let them just kind of work their stuff out because it seemed a little bit that Vic and King were kind of the majority speakers on this show, and Dio over there was kind of a little bit in the back.
He was, and I think that comes to the reason why I would say I like Dio Madden. I think
Mm.
I mean I said it was too early for him to join the team. Because he's only caught a couple weeks of 205 Live, but apparently he's a Paul Heyman guy. So, I
Yeah,
mean, that works out. I'm a big fan of Vic Joseph in general. A lot of people
yeah,
have questioned why Vic go over Tom, but I like Vic. Jerry Lawler is just, you know, he's a he's a veteran to help the young guys out, on Monday Night Raw because this is like we talked before we came on air. This is technically their first show together, on a big show.
yeah. So I get him back in the studio for a little bit, let him kind of, you know, get get used to the situation. And I think if you give them the time and just let them figure it out, I think they could do some good stuff. They just need some time meshing together a little bit better.
Yeah. I think in a couple weeks we will say that they will be back to the normal routine. I think they will be the chemistry will be there in a few weeks. Just give it time.
Yeah,
I know a lot of re actually read some tweets, because Lawler is currently trending on Twitter
yeah,
over Monday Night Raw itself. Actually,
yeah.
people don't like
Uh,
that he's on there.
yeah. For some reason, again, he did pretty good for the show, so I really, I really don't see what the problem was. So
I don't either. He's there to help the young guys out, like I said, and it's his first show back on commentary. And like the reports have said, maybe Jerry Lawler's probably not going to be a permanent guy on the commentary team.
a,
So
a permanent fixture, we'll say.
yeah, pretty much. There is a report that came out earlier today saying Nigel McGuinness could be the guy to replace Lawler down the line.
Yeah,
That would be a good one. And there's only one question that I will say so we can move on is who's the heel commentator? Is there an actual like heel guy now? I
Uh,
couldn't tell. And like you said, Dio was, kind of more like, behind Vic and Lawler, so you couldn't really tell with him.
yeah, I would just, I think this is more of a neutral team, and I think Jerry plays the heel or plays like the weird heel every once in a while, not like every so often. Like he knows better than the two other guys, but he will acknowledge the other two guys when they think of something smart. So I think he's just kind of in between.
Yeah. To me, Raw commentary felt more like a NFL commentary where they just mainly called the action and, just put over segments and not really had a, heel or face on the I think they were all tweeners, really. But
Yeah.
moving on to though the Pyro is back and the brand new stage.
Um.
Go ahead and tell him, Scotty. I'm about to call
yeah.
you Scotty, but go ahead and tell him
I'm
Hammers.
definitely not Scotty
No,
Bear at all. Um.
go
How
ahead.
how how best how best do I say this? Um. I'm happy the Pyro's back.
Yeah,
Um. But but to be truthful and honest, the set looks just like a big huge quarter pipe. like
yeah,
it's now it's not a bad thing. It looks great, but it's just this huge quarter pipe that just goes like it just kind of verges upwards. I mean, like you could have like Tony Hawk ride that thing and it looked cool, but maybe I'm a little behind on the times of how you make LEDs look cool, but it just seemed a little a little off. It's not bad by any stretch of the imagination. It's quite well done. It just looks like a big huge quarter pipe that you get in like um Tony Hawk's Underground 2.
yeah. It really does. I don't mind it. I don't mind it at all. I think it looks pretty cool. It's gonna be different to see people, take bumps on it. It's gonna look cool to see if we ever see like Braun Strowman Lashley type thing happen ever.
It's gonna be a little hard. I will say that.
But I think
Um,
it would look pretty badass if anything happened like that ever with this set.
yeah, I'm.
But
It'll be
I doubt it.
interesting. It'll be interesting.
It definitely will be. But it does give Raw a whole new look. It's way different than Raw has ever been. And I think that's what Raw needed. It needed something that wasn't, like the old stages like before. And
Yeah.
it gives I like, how they come out. I think it looks cool that way.
Hmm.
It's not your ordinary stage. It's different.
Yeah. Um. Again,
It's
it's a
gonna
little
take time.
odd. Yeah, it's going to take some time to getting used to. Again, I'm not a. I don't say this. I'm not going to say this is the worst set of all time. It just it's going to take some time to kind of maybe get used to it, maybe get
Hmm.
the flow of it, the feel of it, and I think it's going to be quite well.
I think so as well, and I also think the pyro looked fantastic with the new stage as well. I like that some of the guys and girls, some of the superstars don't have pyro and some do, because you don't need to have it for every superstar.
Yeah.
But
Um.
I'll get to each segment on this, but I will say I'm gonna I'm gonna see what you think on a couple of the guys' pyros, like, cause a couple of them got ones that kind of look familiar from back in the day.
Yeah.
But I, I I don't think this guy even said anything about the pyro or the with the new set. Let's see.
Well, I mean, it is still a test. We may lose it like next week. We don't know.
Yeah.
But it's a testing ground to see if people still like it. And if people still like it, then they'll keep it.
And if not, they'll update it a little bit and make it
Yeah.
look just a tad bit better. I do like the
Yeah.
big screen. I never was a fan of the screen that they had on the old set because you really couldn't see like the entrance videos all too well on that little screen that they had. This gives um, every character a bigger screen and a more of like creativity for like the videos too. So
Yeah.
like Ricochet's for instance looked pretty badass, and I think the very first person I read on Twitter tweeted out the Rey Mysterio one. It made his entrance look a little bit better than when he first came back. So we will see. We will see what, you know. But moving on to the very first segment of the night, Rey Mysterio opened the show to address how important it is for him to win the Universal title. He talked about Dominic at ringside and to help overcome his doubts. And then all of a sudden, the Beast Incarnate came out.
Your boy, Big Rocky Boo over here.
Yes, Brock Lesnar made the surprise appearance to attack the Master of the 619. He was not satisfied with just taking out Mysterio either. Hammers, go ahead and tell everybody what happened.
Well, uh, your boy Brock Lesnar shows up, does does his little prance around the ringside area.
He also had his pyro back, which great.
Yes. Um, he gets in the ring, and we we then get Rey Mysterio taking away the microphone of Paul Heyman. Now, that led to your boy Brocky Boo over here to flip out and just destroy Rey Mysterio. Like F5s and all the other shticks that he's got going.
Mm-hmm.
And then after a little while, Brock gets outside, comes to where a 22-year-old Dominic is, makes him sit down in his chair. But that wasn't good enough for Yield Good Brock Lesnar. And he brings him into the ring. Now, if I'm not a good looker at things, I would tell you, legit and honest, I think that Damien wasn't fully expecting the strength of Brock Lesnar to come about.
No.
I'm betting he was. I'm betting he was down to do some of the stuff that was required of him. I don't think all of it was ready for him. Your boy kind of, how best do I say this? Brock brings him into the ring and just throws him everywhere. And then Rey Mysterio gets a little bit of strength in him, like F5, and then I made this quote, and I thought it was quite hilarious, to say the least. Um, Brock is is there, and he whispers into the ear of Damien. Hey, Damien, are you ready for a business trip flight? And then whooshes Damien like from one end of the ring to the other, and then does it again, and then he does it to Ray, and then he does it to Damien, and then on the last one, it looked like Damien literally got knocked the fuck out. Like, like
Yeah, he did.
he rolled out of that ring area and got mercy killed. Like it it looked quite nasty. I don't know what else to say. I don't.
It really did look pretty bad. Not
It
gonna lie.
it looked gnarly.
He took some bumps, and I'm not gonna lie. I did say something earlier when I was on the a group chat on Twitter, and I was just like, well, if there's one guy you would want to take bumps from to learn how to take bumps and take those kind of vicious ones, it's Brock.
Oh yeah. Also, one of the final members of the Lance Storm what's it called? Lance Storm Academy right there, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes, he is. I don't know if anybody knows that, but yeah,
Yeah.
he has
So
been he has been taking some bumps.
from Lance Storm, and then and then he got thrown by Brock Lesnar.
Yes, he had. Yes, he did. Yes.
Just
Uh,
all of the yeses.
no, pretty much. But I do want to say shout out to Melly. He's in the chat. Welcome, sir.
Uh,
But I do want to say that this guy on Bleacher Report gave this a grade B, which I agree.
a B, really? I would have said A personally because I mean first Raw of the new season, you gotta do something like
Well, I give it
crazy
an
as
A, but I'm just saying I agree that like he gave this a B, and I'm glad that he didn't give it less than that. But I would have given an A minus.
uh,
But this
so
guy
yeah.
said this was a weird opening to the night that stretched the boundaries of all that was believable. No one got involved for minutes on end as the Beast detected a non wrestler. It did not help that there was no heat between Mysterio and Lesnar before the night, and still it was a good way to use Lesnar to make a memorable statement to start the show. He crossed the line that should never been crossed, and it even began to make Heyman worry about the stability of his client. That's what this guy thought.
Okay. Fair point. Yeah. Just fair point.
Yeah, fair point. I agree. I agree. But I don't know. I don't see what was so bad about it.
Yeah.
But I thought it was pretty good. But moving on, I I kind of see the dude's point, but at the same time, he gave a decent one. But all right, moving on to the very first match of the night: Sasha Banks, Alexa Bliss, 1-on-1. With Bayley and Nikki Cross barred from ringside, Sasha and Alexa Bliss continued their growing rivalry while Becky Lynch watched on commentary. And let's just say a lot of people had some stuff to say about Lawler looking at Becky Lynch's buttocks.
Yeah. That was the most negative thing of the night, I would say. Uh, people making that comment, I guess, don't really know if that was the main course of Mr. Lawler's ideals for the night. But I think that people can, calm it down a little bit. And really, it's Jerry has always been a kooky, quirky little guy,
Yeah.
and you saying what you say isn't really a shocker, but you kind of just need to like let it loose, just calm it down a little bit. I mean,
Yeah.
he what at least he didn't say puppies at all during the show.
Oh, if he would have
So,
said anything with the P word, I don't know. It may have. We probably would have saw some raging on Twitter or something.
oh yeah, absolutely. But I don't think all p words like giving the women power in the company. I think would not be bad p word to say.
Yeah.
Uh, so we can't just say all p words. Maybe some, but not all.
Yeah. True. But the boss struggled against the goddess and pretended to call for backup from the hugger. This
It it
distract.
it, it looked more like she said, like she pointed out to somewhere and said Bailey, and then
Y-
and then Alexa immediately looked in that direction and
yeah.
got taken out by the knee.
Yeah. Taken out by. Really, it would look like the ankle more, but. And then
Yeah.
rolled her up with a handful of tights for the 3 count. Uh,
Yeah.
the man charged down to the ring, and her Hell in a Cell challenger bailed out of the ring. Lynch promised Banks would have no place to run on Sunday, and she would make her suffer. This guy gave this match and whatever happened afterwards a great D. He would give the women's match the D.
Yeah. Oh, but if Jerry says anything, oh, it's good.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
bad.
Oh, yeah.
C.
I give this a C as well. This guy also has said Banks and Bliss have an awkward history as rivals over the years, and it showed in this match. They struggled to find chemistry, leading to a flat match and awkward finish. If the man was not ringside and got involved after the bell, it would have been a complete miss. Luckily, the heat between Lynch and Banks made this worth the spotlight. It is easy to get excited about what the two women will do inside Hell in a Cell, even if the story has not developed at all since their last great match.
Yep. Agreed.
I actually agree with this guy for this on this one. Uh, it is going to be exciting to see what they can do inside the cell, but they haven't
Well,
really found, a decent storyline in my book. And
you
well,
see, last time people hyped up a women's Hell in a Cell match, it
yeah,
was it was it was Charlotte versus Sasha, and God, that was terrible. But with this one, people are hyping it up almost the same way. Like, oh, this is gonna be a great Hell in the Cell match. Like, I mean, we've heard that statement before, and then we got like a bunch of Sasha's cheeks in there, and a table spot that didn't happen at all. Like, it's let's play it safe and just say it'll be interesting to see.
it really is. It's gonna. Can Sasha and Becky Lynch outdo the Banks and Charlotte Hell in a Cell? It was pretty bad. I think it was overdone. It went too long. I hope this one doesn't go as long as that, and I hope they can pull out some good spots and make it a little bit more. At the end of the day, I just want to see it better than the last. Because
Yeah.
I don't want. I want the women to be able to say that they can have a match in the Hell in a Cell and have a decent one, and not have the fear of not being able to pull off something like this just because of their size.
Yeah.
But we will see. But moving on, Raw Tag Team titles on the line. Heavy Machinery getting their opportunity to face Dolph Ziggler and Bobby Roode. Um, and I think the power of Otis and Tucker made this a hard fight for Dolph Ziggler and Bobby Roode early. And by the way, Bobby Roode is now Bobby Roode again and not Robert Roode, apparently.
It's it's anecdotal sometimes.
So I don't know anymore.
Yeah. But
What you think of this match before we go to see what this guy says?
I I really don't know.
Did you not get to see it, or
Well, no, I got to see it. Um, all I have to say is Otis, Otis is great,
yes, he is
and
so hilarious. No matter what position he's in, if it's even during a match, he's just so hilarious.
his Hulk up spot that he did,
Yeah,
the caterpillar elbow,
the double
like,
caterpillar elbow, actually.
oh yeah, like this guy knows how to work a room, and does it so good. I am I really don't know what else to say, but just thank you, Otis. You're doing God's work.
And I don't mind Tucker either. I mean, I think Otis is definitely the better out of the two, but I think the Heavy Machinery is one of the most underrated teams in WWE right now.
Mm.
And Brandon, my little brother, said they're so over, and he was right. The crowd was really over with Heavy Machinery in this match. The crowd was going strong during this
Oh
match.
yeah,
And he was like, they need to put the titles on them. And I'm like, well, right now, you can't take the titles off Rude and Ziggler because it's only been 2 weeks.
yeah,
And I made this mention, and then when I thought about it afterwards, I was like, man, I was kind of smart about me saying that. Heavy Machinery chasing the titles, but getting opportunities, but coming close to winning it, is going to help them in the long run because when they finally capture the gold, it's going to be a bigger moment because nobody's going to see it coming.
yes, yeah. I would agree with that.
This is a story of the face tag team chasing the gold and then finally, capturing it, basically.
Getting the big one.
Getting the big one. And this is going to be, I think WrestleMania is when Heavy Machinery gets it. That's a bold prediction from me. But this guy gave this match a grade B plus. He said it was a surprisingly strong match. The tag teams got good time and delivered. Otis and Tucker again showed that they are more than a comedy act and pushed Rude and Ziggler to work a stronger title match than on the night they won the titles.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Wow. It's kind of sad because you had the Universal Champion in that match and Braun Strowman. But the awkwardly thrown together team of the Glorious One and the Show Off has gelled well so far. They may truly manage to resurrect each other's careers, is the final sentence that he says. You never know. We've
I
seen teams form that are just random. We've seen Cesaro and Sheamus get together after their Best of Seven series, and it technically delivered.
yeah. It's going to be interesting to see how their title reign goes forward. Um,
I would have loved
I'll
to see the Best of Seven series with Dolph Ziggler and Bobby Roode and then put them together. Even though it would have been stealing like the same storyline, but those two are so good, and I bet you they would have pulled off some good matches together, one on one.
yeah, I wouldn't say never is never. So we still may get some Rude versus uh, Ziggler matches in the future.
Yeah, you never know. Never know. But I would give this match I would give this match a B plus as well. I agree with this guy. He should have put over Heavy Machinery a little bit more than what he did with the tag team champions, because they were definitely more over in the match. But you know, to each their own.
Yeah.
But on to the next thing, and this is you're gonna be happy to talk about this one because Ric Flair and Hulk Hogan. It was on Miz TV with the Miz, and the Miz introduced Ric Flair, Hogan, and then Jimmy Hart was with Hogan, and I didn't see that one coming.
I was like, it's Jimmy.
Yeah.
Like who would have expected to see Jimmy Hart out of nowhere coming out and just saying, "Hey, I'm Jimmy Hart. Everybody, look at me. Just look at me."
Yeah. Well, Nature Boy got contentious with the Real American until the A-lister revealed the two would be.
It
Let me
was
back
drunk
up.
foreplay.
Yeah,
It,
let me
it was
back
drunk
up.
foreplay.
It
Be
really
real.
was. And I know you want to mention the crowd. Go ahead, what they were
Oh,
chanting.
I'll say it. I'll say it when the time comes.
Uh,
But it's God. God.
well, the A-lister revealed the two would be helming the teams for Crown Jewel on October whatever the date is.
Yeah.
I say that because I know a lot of people don't watch, so they probably really don't care about the specific date. But
No.
Hogan revealed his team captain, which was Seth Rollins,
Yes.
before Flair brought Orton out as his captain, which, okay, let's be honest, Hogan revealing Seth Rollins gives that rub to Seth Rollins. And Ric Flair brought out his boy. I mean, well, I wouldn't say really gives the rub to Seth, but it's the perfect team captain for a Hulk Hogan squad. I don't.
For Ric Flair squad.
Well, Seth Rollins for Hogan.
Yeah.
I don't think there was anybody else that you would put in that position for Team Hogan. I just don't see it. Not right now. Maybe in the future, but not right now. I don't see anybody else but a Rollins that could. I mean, the only thing is that the kind of question I question is why was it Miss TV? Why couldn't they just have Ric Flair and Hogan come out? But I guess give the Miz, that face, rub a little bit because he's in the same ring and had Miss TV with two of the biggest icons of WWE history.
Yeah.
Well, of course, Flair brought out his boy Orton as his captain. That is smart.
Yeah. I if you want to say it that, yeah. I would say it's smart. Um is it the wisest decision to, bring out him? Yeah, maybe.
But I also see it why they have Orton being the team captain, because Orton has been involved in a lot of Survivor Series matches, and he's actually overcome some odds and won a couple of those. So having him as a team captain is kind of smart because he's a veteran, and he's
But
also been in those situations before.
but this is not an elimination style matchup though.
It's not. That's true.
So
I
it's
didn't
it's
think
a
of that. No,
completely different ball game when you go into something elimination wise
unless they do.
versus yeah. Unless they make an elimination the day of, I'm gonna just play it safe and say this is going to get goofy up in here.
I don't want it to be elimination because in November we have Survivor Series. Plain and simple.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
can't
that's true.
have. They should have probably kept this one off to make Survivor Series a bigger pay per view and had this 5-on-5 Hogan Flair, you know,
Yeah.
This would have been a lot better. It would have been smarter for the teams to be Hogan versus Flair and team captains like that. It would have been smarter.
Yeah. I would just keep it. I would have kept it. Do something a little different. Go 4-on-4, and then have it be something like 2 out of 3 falls, just to make it a little different.
Yeah.
But I'm but I'm also not booking the show, so
Yeah, that's true too. So it's gonna be weird to see who takes the pinfall and all that, but let let's see what this guy had to say. He gave this a grade C minus.
mm.
This was awkward at its best. It sounded like the Nature Boy had forgotten his entire script.
Oh
And,
yeah, absolutely. He was drunk. Absolutely wasted on this show.
yeah, and Hogan and Miz were trying desperately to keep him on track. Even when the legends got out of the way, this still came off poorly. There's no reason why to get invested in this crown jewel elimination. It is elimination tag.
I don't they did not say that
Well,
at
again, this
all.
guy said elimination tag just weeks ahead of Survivor Series. Nothing is on the line, and Rollins and Orton have no heat with each other at the moment. Rusev's inclusion felt random, even with him demanding a title match for helping the champion. At least the company did not book Hogan versus Flair at Crown Jewel. Uh,
Thank God. I
oh,
am so happy for that.
all right, all right. First off, first paragraph, he said, it. Yes, you're right. The Nature Boy had forgotten his entire script, and it did seem like the Miz and Hogan was desperately trying to help him and keep on track.
Oh, you think?
Yeah, yeah. Okay, but the second paragraph, you said Rusev inclusion felt random. I mean, at some point you got to make Rusev face or heel, and this pushes him there. And you got the whole elimination tag just weeks ahead, wrong. So, but the last sentence is probably the only thing this guy was smart about. Not booking Hogan and Flair.
God, you better goddamn not.
But go ahead and
Some
tell you.
bitch.
Go ahead. The crowd really wants Hogan and Flair. One more match.
No, you don't want it. Everybody wanted Undertaker versus, Goldberg. Guess what happened?
Yeah. Can you
Shite.
imagine? Can you imagine Ric Flair and Hogan? I mean, Hogan's got back problems. He may be able to do a tag team match where he just comes in, hits a big boot, and that's it. But Ric Flair would probably come to the damn show drunk as hell. This would be another Jeff Hardy situation.
Also, in Jeddah. We're
Jeddah.
talking about Jeddah.
Well, it wouldn't surprise me if the officials actually asked for this damn match now.
If they goddamn asked for this goddamn match, I'm
Because
gonna be pissed.
Hammers. Let's be honest. They have done ask for damn Yokozuna to come to the damn show. They asked for Eddie Guerrero to come to the damn show.
Fake Yoko showed up. It's quite hilarious.
Just if you're gonna have fake oh Jesus Lord, I don't even know anymore.
Just don't. You don't. You don't need anything anymore. Just stop it. Don't do it. Get some help, okay? Like
The question that is gonna end this segment right here is, why does the crowds always do this?
because they like to piss people off.
Yeah. There's no wonder I'm debuting a show called For the Marks.
Cheap plug.
Yep, I'm Mick Foley tonight. But let's move on to the next match. Viking Raiders and the OC. Luke Gallows, Carl Anderson attempted to avenge their loss from last week. And, yeah.
You're ruining my cheap pop.
The Viking Raiders defeated the OC via pinfall. Let's just go ahead and see what this guy had to say and go from there. Grade C plus. This was a fine tag team match, but the crowd was not remotely interested. It didn't help that the two teams had the same match last week. The victory for the Raiders mattered when it felt like a upset. This time, it was just obvious repeat. It's as if the company is quietly writing off this feud. Clearly, the OC have already become about as relevant as they were before they aligned with AJ Styles. Meanwhile, the Viking Raiders likely dethrone Bobby Roode and Dolph Ziggler soon.
Yeah, I would agree.
I actually agree with this whole entire statement, and the Viking Raiders better be the ones to dethrone Bobby Roode and Dolph Ziggler, and then you have them face Heavy Machinery at WrestleMania. That's
Yeah.
my right there. I would give this match a C plus as well because this was pretty much scratch and repeat.
Yeah, C plus.
We can already move on.
Yeah.
Ricochet and Cesaro. Cesaro interrupted Kayla Braxton as she was talking about the fallout from Rey Mysterio and Dominic getting attacked. He stated he would gladly be the next man to throw around Dominic. Ricochet took offense to this with the comments and challenged the Swiss Superman. While Cesaro dominated the action early on, all it took was a sudden West Coast pop for the one and only to take the 3 count. Ricochet defeated Cesaro via pinfall. This guy gave this grade C plus. While Ricochet and Cesaro are too good to have a bad match, the pairing has lost its luster. It is now far too clear who matters of the two. The one and only keeps winning, and the Swiss Superman is piling up losses at an alarming rate. This did not help either man, and it becomes more and more likely Cesaro will be doing the job for Dominic sooner rather than later.
I love it. He immediately goes for, well, you know what? Dominic's gonna win a match against him. It's out of the question. I mean, subtlety? Like, I mean, I know we're not expecting, glorious things out of the son of Dominico, but I mean, you gotta give the kid a chance at least. Like,
Yeah,
Jesus.
This would be a more shocking win if Dominic were to actually wrestle Cesaro and win. If Rey Mysterio would have lost all the matches to Cesaro, which Rey Mysterio actually beat Cesaro, last week?
Yeah,
So,
but that makes sense. Like, this guy is just goofing. I don't know what's going on here, my dudes.
Cesaro has lost a lot of steam. And like this guy said, he is piling up losses at an alarming rate that I cannot understand. He's pretty much Cesaro's steam, even with the repackage and the new entrance video and all that. Ever since Sheamus left and the team broke up, he hasn't been the same. He really hasn't. I I would give this match a D actually, because I just one West Coast pop ends the match after just Cesaro destroying him most of the match. Nothing to say here, really.
I would give it a C. To be truthful and honest, this wasn't the greatest match of all time, but there was elements of it that, him saying the stuff about Dominic and everything, it becomes vitriol a little bit, and it helps push this idea of he's going to try doing something really stupid here shortly. So
and he's gonna pay the price for doing it, like the guys said on the last paragraph.
Yeah, he's going to pay the piper here shortly. So give him some time. Don't just sit him. Don't just go after the kid right away. We're first being introduced to Dominic as an actual possible competitor. you can lay low on the kid for a little bit. I mean, we're not going to be seeing Gotch and Hackenschmidt out of this kid just yet. So give him some time. He'll do well. When you give the kid some time, I'm betting he will impress.
I
When
think he will.
when it comes down to it, I think he will impress.
I'm surprised they're not putting him down in NXT though. But then again, this is a perfect storyline not for NXT. And this is a
Yes.
perfect storyline to give somebody that you wouldn't think come out of nowhere and get a good rub on. And this will definitely be even better if... I don't want to spoil anything if it actually happens. I haven't really heard any reports on this, but let's say Dominic does do all this. He comes and actually wrestles and beats Cesaro, and then down the line actually turns on his own father. I mean, that
The old turn on the father situation.
yeah, pretty much. At least we know who the... Well, I was going to throw
Listen, let's not get into that storyline.
Yes. Okay. But moving on to Rambling Rabbit passed away to open the Firefly Funhouse, but the puppets were more concerned about Hell in a Cell. They worried about the horror that the Fiend will inflict on the Beast Slayer. Bray Wyatt considered asking the Fiend to be nice to Rollins before laughing at the end. This guy gave this segment, the Firefly Funhouse, a A-. And as always, he says the Firefly Funhouse is a quick, entertaining diversion from the main product. Even though it can feel like Wyatt is repeating the same key lines, it's far more entertaining and effective than the slog of typical promos. Even the most innocuous lines hold a sinister edge when they come from Wyatt, and the way he shows pity for his opponent makes it feel all the more clear the horrors he plans to inflict upon the champion. Perfect. Perfect. Best grade and best analysts that he has done so far on Bleacher Report.
Yeah, there's something to say about you know it's it's going to be interesting to see what happens next with this story arc. Can't wait to see what happens.
I can't wait. Can't wait to see what happens in Hell in a Cell. We'll be watching. But moving on to the United States Championship, AJ Styles defending against Cedric Alexander. This is their third one-on-one match. And let's go into this right now. I'm gonna read what this guy said about the match and what happened. AJ Styles came out fast and angry against Cedric Alexander. The cruiserweight fought back through and seemed to be closing in on a victory with each near fall. Just as he looked poised, though, the Phenomenal One planted him with the Styles Clash to take the win.
So they're putting. I will admit I was picking up my brother at this time when this match happened, so I wasn't able to see it. But it sounds like they're trying to put over the Clash one more time and make it look gnarly as heck, my dudes.
Yeah, I mean, Alexander is one of those guys that I think will be even though the reports came out that Vince McMahon wanted to bury him, I don't see why you would want to bury a talent like Cedric. Yeah, he's not good on promos, but in ring, there's no doubt about it that he's one of the most athletic guys in the company.
Yeah, it takes time also. Like, let him give Bray Wyatt him and help him mold him to work on his promos a little bit. Like,
yeah.
Bray can cut damn near vicious promos. I mean, let Cedric learn a little bit from Bray and help him out. Just give him little touches here and there. Like, you got a good promo man in Bray, so let's give Bray Cedric Alexander for a little bit and help him work on his self-esteem for doing a promo. Yeah, there you go.
Cedric Alexander. I'm gonna say this before we see what this guy has to say.
Hmm.
Cedric Alexander, yeah, he definitely needs somebody to help mold him into a better promo. This is a key reason why I wish the American Dream Dusty Rhodes was still alive, because he would have done helped Cedric Alexander through and through on the promos right now.
Oh yeah.
And I don't think he really got the opportunity to work with Alexander. I don't know. I can't remember.
He was already gone when Alex came in.
Okay, so
He
Alexander
didn't.
definitely would have benefited Dusty Rhodes being,
Oh
helping him.
yeah. He would have learned a lot from the American Dream Dusty.
Even Roddy Piper. That's another one.
Ooh, Roddy would have been interesting to see how to help out some of the young guns.
Oh yeah, definitely. Mainly promo, because he was a damn good promo, like American Dream. But let's see what this guy had to say. He gave this match a grade B. This was another fun sprint from these two, who deserved to get so much more time to deliver. At this point, there's no real argument that Styles is better, so this feud should have been over. It's surprising it even lasted this long. That sounds like you're watching a porno, but this would have been a nice time to.
Okay.
This would have been. There's my joke of the night. This would have been a nice time to pull a surprise upset, but WWE is dead set on the Phenomenal One carrying the United States Championship for months to come. Another good opinion.
Yeah.
And another good grade. I'd also give this a B. You can't really give it a grade, but
It's I would say good solid B minus to a C.
Yeah, okay. That works with me. Not this match I'm not really looking forward to talk about, because yeah, I'm not even gonna tell you what happens. Well, I'll just tell you the winner. Evans defeats Natalia. This guy gave it a D minus. Another women's match, he gives it the D. Jesus Christ, this guy. The sooner these two are no longer feuding, the better. Natalia does not have the natural ability to elevate Evans, so their matches are slogs to sit through. Hopefully this win will end it. Perhaps Evans can find more interesting rival after the next WWE draft. At this point, many women deserve the spotlight. She has more than she does.
Uh, Slight disagree,
Me too.
but I understand where he's coming from.
If I would have had to write this article, I probably would have said we've seen this 3 times in the last 3 weeks or 4 weeks. So, um, I would have actually gave this match an F. It was pretty quick, and yeah, they really don't have anything going for any of the other women besides like 4 or 5. So, and again, we have 2 SmackDown and Raw rosters, and we're still, everybody was like, oh, when the brand split happens, more women are gonna have more spotlight. And 2 years in,
Uh,
2 years in from the 2016 WWE draft, and even after the roster shakeups throughout the couple years, we still were only talking about Charlotte, Sasha, Bailey, Banks. I mean, Becky. 4 women technically. There's no other women that we can say that are focal points. The only other time we've seen anybody is Evans, and that was yeah, it wasn't.
Decent. I mean, it wasn't crazy great, but I mean, it was
It was
decent.
decent. It was better, but this whole Evans Natalia thing, there's really not much to talk about.
Mm.
Evans has a good character.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
She
Evans is a
should be a
great
women's
character.
champion, but it was just too early for her to be thrown into the opportunity months ago against Lynch. And you see what happens when you throw somebody in too early. They don't normally, they don't normally swim. They usually sink.
I would say they more most of the time they would, goof it up. So
And I wouldn't say they totally did, but they also really did not help Evans at all to putting her in that opportunity. And you kind of see, where Evans has gone since then to a three win, 3 weeks in a row beating Natalia.
yeah,
Nothing to say here. Let's just.
Natalia needs something to kind of get her spirits up because I mean it needs she needs a good I don't want to sound weird when I say this, but she needs a good kick in the pants. Like it's getting to the point where we're come on, Nikki, let's start doing some stuff here. It's getting a little embarrassing. Like
Yeah. I don't want to really see Natalia much anymore. I don't see a reason.
I think Natalia has her purpose, and it's just needing to figure out what it is. If we could,
It's to me, it's putting the others over nowadays,
yeah,
and she really doesn't do that either. Uh,
yeah, that's true.
she hasn't really benefited Evans at all since. I mean, it's not. It doesn't help when you're booking Natalia and Evans 3 weeks in a row, or 3 out of the 4 weeks in a row. It really does not help. The only time that Natalia really didn't even help Becky Lynch in their match at SummerSlam because it was an okay feud, but it showed a more aggressive side in Natalia and more of a promo skills to definitely showcase. But other than that, what she's there to do? Just
I I think giving her some time, let her figure out some stuff, and I'm gonna guarantee you she's not gonna be a women's champ within the next few months. Let's just bury that hatchet immediately.
I don't think Natalia will ever win the women's champion again.
Yeah, I think if there's anything to say about Natalia doing anything, it's it's her being able to help the young guns out a little bit. Hold on a second. Um, yeah, it's just to help out the young guns.
I will say though to anybody listening that at the end of the day, the only reason Natalia's there is like what Hammer said, is to kind of help out the younger women talent. Getting them kind of over, I guess, as best as she can, and kind of helping them groom their in-ring skills and kind of their promos. So, other than that, Natalia's not really there for anything at this point. But I will say Natalia will never be champion. No doubt about it. I just don't see a reason for her to win a title other than putting the women over. I don't. I don't. I said this and I'll say it again. Natalia won't win a championship ever again, and I don't even think she will be involved in a championship match ever again. And she shouldn't be involved in a women's title match. So, but other than that, we shall see, won't we? We shall see, guys. But waiting on Hammers to get back. Oh,
Sorry about that.
no problem. All I said was basically, she's never gonna win the championship again, and I also said I don't think she will even be involved in another women's title match for maybe 3 years. So ever again.
I
At
think
that.
I think I think she's I think she may I think she may get a title shot. I think if you get her in a good like time and frame, I think you have a good opportunity of getting a good run out of her. It's not going to be like the world's best run, but I think if you get her in the right place at the right time, you're going to have a great women's champion with Natalia.
I could see her getting like one last run with a championship, but not a long one. But maybe before she, hangs up the boots. But other than that, I
I
don't.
I say you do. I say you do a Daniel Bryan, and that is have her be this kind of goody two shoes baby face for a little bit, and then have her just go freaking ape shit on somebody, and have her just heal out.
Yeah. Okay.
Just you don't need to. You don't have to overcomplicate it. You just she just goes batshit insane one day, and she wins the title. It's simple. Like she doesn't have to be, asylum seeker. We're talking like there's something that just snaps in her head that makes her go, "I'm going to kill this bitch, and she going to die tonight." Like that's what you need to do. It's easy, simple. Don't no fluffs, McGuffs, or diddly puffs.
Okay. I do want to throw a shout out to Kuzan TV. He's in the chat. He said, "Hey, I just woke up. Good morning from Britain."
I woke up in a new Bugatti. I woke up in a new Bugatti.
Yep. All right, let's end this show with the main event. All right. WWE Universal Championship. Seth Rollins defending against the guy that challenged him earlier in the night, Rusev.
Do we really need to talk about this main event?
Yeah,
Do we
yes,
really?
Yes, we do. All right, Randy Orton and King Baron Corbin loomed on the stage as Seth Rollins fought Rusev for the Universal Championship. In an athletic and physical encounter, the Beast Slater fought. The Beast. Blah, blah. See, look, I'm trying. The Beast Slayer fought with all he had to keep his title. The Bulgarian Brute caught Seth Rollins diving with a matcha kick, whatever. I'm trying not to laugh here, but Bobby Lashley returned and brought out Lana. He and the Ravishing Russian made out in front of Rusev until the lights went out and the Fiend choked out the champion with the mandible claw. Wow.
Mandible clock.
Yeah. I'm I'm trying not to die laughing here because I did not see this fucking coming at all.
Who expected to see Lana just start boogly over here? Like, nobody.
Now
Nobody.
I just want to throw this out here if nobody also knows. The announcement was made earlier tonight, but the Rock will be live on SmackDown for the big show on Fox. So the reason why I mentioned that is because now after Lana, in the words of Jerry the King Lawler, playing tonsil hockey with Bobby Lashley, I'm starting to think that maybe that one night in Milwaukee was actually true back in the day.
Listen, we don't need to bring that up again.
But did not expect the tonsil hockey with Lana making out with not just one time, not just a little bit, but
Oh no! Oh no! She wore the face off of Bobby Lashley.
and he had his hands everywhere.
Oh hell yeah! Who wouldn't?
If uh, if it doesn't come out tomorrow morning that Lashley and Lana have actually been fucking and Lana was cheating on Rusev in real life to Bobby Lashley, I'm gonna be quite mad that.
Well, you won't be the only person that's not mad. It'll Miss Lashley will have some stuff to say too. Like, I mean, let's be for real here. Who really wants to see Senior Lashley over here oogly boogly with Lana? Like, no, no, they've already been through this. We had the great war of 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 yesteryear with your boy. Uh, sorry, but it's
Let's
just
say we will never see this kind of ending on future wrestling.
or will we?
Wink, wink. But let's before we dive into this too long. This guy said the grade was C minus.
Bullshit. Like, this boy did not watch this match then, because legit, if this was not like if this was during Rusev's like big Rusev Day push, this would have been a great match. Like, people were chanting Rusev Day. Like, this was going to be great if they had an actual chance to throw the gimmick out there and just say, you know what, fuck it, let's go with it. Let's give Rusev a WWE Championship match or a Universal Championship match. Like, let's give the boy a chance. It would have been great. People would have been chanting. People would have been yelling. We would have seen people rioting.
And I just thought about something. Kuzan just woke up.
Mm-hmm.
Good morning, Kuzan. You heard it right. Tonso hockey with Lana and Bobby Lashley to end Monday Night Raw. But after that, it was the Mandible Claw. Alright, so this guy gave this a grade C minus, but then he goes and trashes it on this little article. Let me read it.
Why? No, there's no reason to trash it. It's stupid. It's stupid, but it's okay stupid.
He said Rollins and Rusev were having a solid title match together before it all went bad.
No, it went great.
Rusev and Lana are a strong pairing that did not need to be broken up.
Yes. You need a little change up every once in a while, Bobby.
The last time this happened, it was an absolute mess, and Bobby Lashley isn't going to elevate it.
Yes, he is.